Hello, friends. It's Simone. I'm so glad you're here today for this unboxing of a new fountain pen. And yes, as you can clearly see, I got myself an Esterbrook, probably an Estie. This pen was made possible by all of you who used the Atlas Stationers affiliate code. So I was able to get this way before I originally had planned to get it. And I'm so extremely grateful for each and every one of you who used that code. Thanks. I am planning to do something really fun, in my opinion. Maybe you find that fun too. We will find that out when it happens. I would love to try one of those mystery ink boxes that Atlas shares or sells, but they share the pulling of those mystery boxes on their TikToks. And so I thought, once I moved and there's enough funds, maybe I can have them pull it on live so we can actually see what it is. And then once it gets to me, I can unbox it, swatch it, and then give away samples. What do you think? I really love that idea, and I can't wait for it to happen. So I'm actually really looking forward to moving. All right, let's get to unboxing this thing. It comes in this cardboard box. The right pen for the way you write. I really like the presentation of this. And oh, these look nice too. It says case made in China. That makes me wonder, where is the pen made? Oh, where's the pen? I have no clue. What? Friends, this has never happened. I already opened it up, but what did I do with it? Let me go look for it. Let's try this one more time. Ta-da-da-da. Yes, I went with the Seaglass instead of the honeycomb. For some reason, I was super drawn to this. Maybe because the marshmallow, the Elmo marshmallow that I shared in last week's video is also very light. So I decided I probably will add the honeycomb at some point further down the line, but I would go with the Seaglass instead. I went for a medium nib. I already rinsed the pen, and I already also made a video about the honeycomb that I was able to borrow from Sarah from Ginger Peachy Pens. If you want to see size comparisons and what it looks like, how it works and all that, there's an actual new pen day video where I do all of those comparisons. I didn't plan on doing those with this pen because it is essentially the same. What I wanted to do is, I wanted to show you what the box looks like, and I really need to research now, because if the box explicitly says case made in China, where is the pen made? Is it not made in China? Then there is a registration card, teeny tiny one. I really like this presentation. And then there is a black regular standard cartridge. It comes, I already opened it and fumbled with it, with a standard international converter right here. It's still wet because I rinsed it. This is a Jowo number 6 size nib, and I am able to interchange that with other number 6 Jowo nibs if I choose to do so. So I want to ink this up today, and I also want to do some comparisons with one specific pen, the Elmo Marshmallow, because that was the pen that I purchased with the hopes that it was very similar to the Esterbrook Estie. So here is the Estie. And here is the Montegrappa. The Montegrappa is a bit wider and shorter. This tapers down more. So if I'm just going with the looks of the shape, I like this shape more. It looks more cohesive. This really gets really, really slim down the line. The Montegrappa Elmo, one, two rotations until it opens. And of course, the nib engraving is amazing. So 2 rotations until it's fully opened. Let's see here. 1. 1 and almost 2, and then it pops open. The Esterbrook Estie has an inner cap, and that's why it snaps. It's a cap-in-cap system that tries to keep your nib really wet and doesn't dry out. This one, the Montegrappa, doesn't have that in here. Then when I take this in my hand, the grip section, I actually measured it. I didn't bring my measuring thing with me. You can see it right here. So it starts out at the same width back here, but this one tapers down even more than this one. There is a little ridge that you can't really see right here, which the Elmo doesn't have. But technically, or basically, they're pretty much the very same length when they are uncapped. The Elmo is definitely much heavier. When I unscrew the section from the pen, there you can see back here there is some kind of metal inside in the back of this barrel that makes this pen heavier. When threading, this is plastic to metal, and it makes me wonder if, I didn't remember that the threads on the cap are also plastic to plastic here. See? I feel like if you have plastic to metal, it's dangerous because when your metal is so rigid, it could actually basically make another set of threads and ruin your whole threading. So I'm really, that's the only thing that makes me really wary about this pen, especially for the price point. This is, if you purchase this at Atlas Stationers, I think it's $179, $75-ish. So let's say this is $180. This one is $314, $320-ish. So there is definitely a much bigger price involved in this pen. The clip, this one looks okay. I don't use my clips apart from them being roll stops. This one is super tight, so this is not really usable. But they do work as roll stops, so that's good. The nib on this one is super wet, super smooth. I have just tip tested this with what is it called? Serenity Blue, Waterman Serenity Blue, and I plan to ink it up with an ink that does not even match this color scheme at all. But let's do that right now. I brought a syringe just in case, and the reason why I'm using this ink is because I sold this pen and it is part of my currently inked lineup, and it is inked with Mont Blanc James Purdy & Sons single malt. And so I decided I'll just keep the ink and change the pen. So that's what I'm doing. I really like with the Estie that you have metal threads on metal threads and that there is an O-ring that makes this really tight. Okay, so let's push down the converter because I want to ink this pen through the nib. Let's see if there's enough. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Of course. Of course. Let's see if that helps. I'm going to hold it slightly slanted. Yeah. Okay, well, that worked a tiny bit. So I got some ink in the pen. I might ink this up more with the syringe, but for now, I would like to try and see how it writes. There's more color right here. And then once I know that, I felt like the nib was really, or felt really dry. So I want to see that, and I want to floss the tines on video. And you can judge me on how I deal with my pens. So what pen is this? This is the Esterbrook Estie. With a medium nib. And the color is Seaglass. It is pretty wet. It felt, I don't know, not scratchy, but super stiff. But maybe I just have to wait until let's do downstrokes, side strokes, upstrokes. It feels tight. Something feels tight. But that might just be because I just inked it. Well, no flex. It's a very stiff steel nib. Let's write the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. It's loud. It feels very steely on the paper. But I just want to put down some ink here so we can see what it looks like before I floss it. And then I'm going to bring out my brass sheets. This is what they look like. I purchased mine from Goulet Pens. You probably can get those at the hardware store as well. But this way I got the right thing, you know. And I think I saw on a really, really old video, probably Google Goulet Pens and brass shim, that you can cut if they're like too broken-ish or bendy, you can just cut them a little bit and then you have a straight edge again and then you can use them again. So I'm just going to use this here. What I usually do is I go in from the breather hole right here and then just go move my thing all the way to the front. And I want the brass sheet to come out on this side, which it doesn't. So let's try this again. That didn't work. I hope you can see. Let's try this again. Okay, slowly moving it forward. There we go. See? It's right in here. And so I'm just going to... And then what I usually do is I do the same thing and start from the bottom right here, right behind the feet, and push it up and go through like this. Let's see what happened. Maybe it's not usable anymore. I'm just going to put this right above. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I believe that it makes a difference. I always feel like the pens write better when I do this. And it's not something that you can break your pen with. And so I tend to just do this when I do it. So here we go. Is there anything else that you wanted to know? This is Mont Blanc. Oh yeah, you know what I can do? James Purdy, because we need to prolong this video. Purdy and Sons, Sons, single, malt. I want to do 2 more things if you want to stick around. Let's check where I made the writing sample for the Estie with the broad nib. Right here. I'm going to put the line right above. This is the Estie honeycomb. Of course, oh wow, look at how different that is. Maybe the reason why I felt like what I really need to do for sure as well is once I'm done with this rotation, I need to try this ink, which is Diamine Brandy Snap in this pen, and see how it compares. When I wrote with this with the, where did I do it? With the medium nib, I was so stunned that it was so thin, because the last time I used an Estie, it was such a broad nib, and I definitely want to have a broad nib, even though I'm not a broad nib person. So that was the one thing that I wanted to do. And then I wanted to take out, so this is an Esterbrook pen with a Jowo nib. Jowo is a German nib manufacturer that manufactures nibs and feets, and they are interchangeable. Where's the pen? I lost my stuff again. I want to provide a writing sample. This is essentially the very same nib, just with a different design on top. Yep, as you can see, this is exactly the same. It's seated the same way in the pen, in the section. And so these are the same, but since they're not handmade, even if they were handmade, they're not, like, handmade also has an error or a margin, but they are made in a fabric. What is that called? Factory. In Germany, we say Fabrik. So I was like, what is the English word for that? Since they are made in a factory and just probably, I don't know how their quality control works, they have an error margin from this to this size is a broad nib, or this to this is a medium nib. So I feel like this is, look at this, look at, so different. I mean, of course, I can't really 100% compare because they're both different inks, but this feels so different, so much better. So yeah, just wanted to show you this. What is this? Elmo. This doesn't fit in here. Let's put this up here. Okay, I think I'm done with the exploration and the nerdiness here. Let me know what you think. Thank you again for using that code. If you want to use it in your next on your next shopping spree, it's Simone, SIMONE 10. You get some exclusions apply, like Esterbrook doesn't do discounts, Twisby doesn't do discounts. So some things will not be able to be reduced, Plotter, but some other things do. Like, you know what I have on my please notify me when it's when it's restocked, the Traveler's Notebook, because they are 10% off, and I'm going to use somebody else's code for mine. All right. Enough rambling. See you soon with another new pen day video, because I won a pen. Until then, bye.